So I'm 39 years old. I have a booming private practice as a creative arts therapist, and I'm on my third infertility specialist. After 7 years of unexplained infertility, and this specialist finally has a diagnosis for me, and that is I have anti-sperm antibodies, which means my body views sperm as a threat, paralyzes it, tries to terminate. I'm a sperminator. That's what it means. And to treat this condition, I'm taking steroids, which reduce my immune system activity, and I'm also on a drug called Clomid, which increases my ovaries activity, and this combination of drugs intensifies and increases all of my emotions. They go very quickly, they get triggered to a 10. I don't have that much control over them, which is a little bit weird, especially if I'm in the produce aisle and I'm like, a baby carrot. And it will never be mine. It's really a lot. I feel like a chemistry experiment in one of these action movies that's going to result in, some kind of reproductive mutant superhero. Like, emoticon woman, she'll heal you with her love, but she kills the sperm, and you won't like her when she's angry. And the really weird thing is that my alter ego is an overly agreeable recovering Catholic from Wisconsin. So, I have a lot of issues. So I'm in therapy. My therapist's name is Joyce. She's great. She's grounded. She takes my insurance. She's a Gestalt therapist, so it's not unusual for her to say something like, put your ovaries in the chair and tell them how they're making you feel right now. This is real. Or she'll say, if your uterus was a character in a movie, who would play her? 7 years ago, Meg Ryan, But now, Joe Pesci. This is what the infertility train has reduced me to. My uterus would be played by Joe Pesci. And my family doesn't know what to say to me. My mother says things like, well, maybe if you didn't work so much, maybe God would give you a baby. And I'm like, so I talked to Joyce about that. But she says, look, your mom is coming from a whole different world, a whole different universe. You have to remember that. And it's true. My mom had 8 children. I have 42 first cousins. I was an aunt in 3rd grade. So in my family, pregnancy is like that boulder that chases Indiana Jones, and he's just running as fast as he can. They'll do anything to get out of the way. They don't understand what I'm doing. This isn't something you pursue. And Joy says, and beyond that, your mother also had trauma with one of her pregnancies, which is true. She after my little sister was born, she had Guillain-Barré syndrome, and she was paralyzed for a year. So Joy says, you just have to remember where your mom is coming from. Don't let her get in your head. And Joyce is right. She's right about a lot of things. It's true. But she's getting on me a little bit. She's pushing me now that I have this diagnosis. And she says, you have a 7% chance of ever achieving a healthy, completed pregnancy, and this is doing a lot to your body. Do you ever think about, getting off the infertility train and what it would be like to be child-free? And inside the Hulk is like, how dare you? But the agreeable Midwesterner, I'm like, I thought you were on my side. And she said, I'm always on your side. Of course I'm on your side. But, think of all the ways you could be happy. Maybe there's other paths to happiness. You have so many things you could do with your life. And inside I'm like, you say that to me. But on the outside, I'm like, you know what? I'm not ready to talk about that. And I don't think I want to talk to you at all right now. And I walk out. And I fire Joyce by leaving a message on her phone. Because I may be in a defensive rage, but I am also an overly agreeable recovering Catholic from Wisconsin. And that's how we do confrontation. So then I call this therapist that I read about in New Age magazine. Her name was Brenda, and there was this big feature of how she does mind-body work, specializing in infertility, and she has a 96% success rate. So I call her, and she's so calm, she's so chill. The soothing it just gets right under my skin, and I feel so good talking to her. She asked me all these questions about my mom's history, my grandma's history, my history. We talked for 40 minutes. She goes, I know exactly where we should begin. We'll do a double session. I highly recommend it. Come right in. we're going to get you pregnant. And I'm like, yes, finally somebody's optimistic for me. And I just feel this weird What's Clovid? A Clomid-inspired enthusiasm, And then she says, the sessions are $250 each. This intake is $200. Checks only. I am a conception doula, and this is not covered by insurance. And I'm like, yes! Great! Because, between the drugs, the desperation, and the lure of the cure, I have to check this out. So Brenda is everything in person that you could ever imagine a therapist that you got from New Age magazine would be. She's thin, she's wiry, she's got white hair down to her shoulders, wearing a diaphanous blue dress, bare feet. Namaste. Blessings. I honor you. Let's go back to my sun porch where we can be close to nature, to the divine, to your healing. Let's go back there, get our freak on, and work this shit out. And then she floats down this really maze-like apartment. She just kind of floats down, and there's a big hallway, then we go down the stairs, and then another hallway, and I'm so disoriented, and the whole time she's talking. And she says, well, I meditated, and my guides have told me where we should begin. Your mother was paralyzed after she had your sister, correct? Yes. And your body paralyzes the sperm. You see the connection? Do you see the connection? This is where we have to begin, because the rage and the trauma that you feel for what happened with your mother is blocking your body from ever conceiving, so that could never happen to you. I bet nobody made that connection for you in your life before. And I said, you got that right. And she says, we have to get those toxins out of your body. And I'm like, how? And she says, she pulls out these 2-foot styrofoam bats with plastic handles. And then there's a futon there, and she thwacks the futon really loud, and she goes, I'll hypnotize you, we will access the trauma, and then you will take out your rage on this futon by beating with these. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I am a licensed trauma therapist. She is a certified doula, or she's a doula, what is she, a conception doula, who I now am beginning to think is stoned. This is crazy. I am definitely doing this. So she goes and sits in the recliner, and her voice is getting softer and softer, and I sit on the mat by the futon, and she says, she's counting down from 10 to 1, deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper, you're relaxed. And she says, now you're 2 years old, and your mother is paralyzed, and you're very angry. And I think, I'm 39 years old. I'm not hypnotized. But I am very angry. Because this is going to cost me $650 fucking dollars. And her voice is getting softer and softer, and she says, now pick up the bat and take out the rage on the futon. And I just want to know how it feels, I imagine. So I take the bat, and I hit the futon, and I go, I'm so angry. And the inner Hulk is like, yeah, I'm so angry. And I really feels good. I'm angry. I don't have to be in this situation. I don't want to have to do any of this. This isn't fair. I never asked for this. And I start really getting into it. I'm just so mad about the situation. Then all of a sudden I feel very self-conscious. And I look over at Brenda, and she is passed out. She is asleep. There's drool. She's been out the entire time. And I'm like, Brenda, are you okay? And then she pops right up and she says, and then your mother was paralyzed. As if she didn't just take a nap while I was supposedly hypnotized and regressed to age 2 in my trauma. And I'm like, Brenda, I'm gonna go. And she says, no, our work has just begun. And I'm no, Brenda, you need rest. And I don't want to pay her. I don't want to pay her. But I can't figure out how to get out of this apartment. And I pay her because I may be in a crazy situation, but I'm still, an overly agreeable, recovering real Catholic from the Midwest. And afterwards, I'm reflecting on this whole situation. I'm like, this pushed me. These drugs, this treatment, all this thinking, this want pushed me to things that I would never imagine myself doing. And I think that Joyce used to ask me, is there a corner of yourself that would be okay if you don't ever have children? That you could create a wonderful life for yourself? And there is that corner. It exists in me. And I decide to get off the fertility train. And I'm going to explore that corner of myself. And I know, and that's what I do. And I know who I want to talk to about it. I want to talk to Joyce. And Joyce takes my insurance.